What is up, guys? Taylor Moore here, one of the most—
Whoa, wait, hold up, T Moore, T Money, Tay, hold up. I'm seeing what you got going on with the whole white table, white wall setup. It's looking a little familiar.
Huh. Hold on one second, I have an idea. All right, Jacques, we got the new setup. We got the wood wall, the white shelves, the blue wall. What do you think?
Okay, all right. Now, that looks good. That wood wall is insane. I mean, I might need that. But before you get into talking about whatever it was you were talking about before you were so graciously interrupted by myself, what are you thinking about that iPhone XS?
That's a great question. I have been absolutely loving my iPhone XS. The battery has been fantastic. The camera on it takes fantastic photo and video. And I have a handful of accessories that we're talking about today that I really think help you get the most out of your phone. Here are 5 iPhone XS accessories that I highly recommend for yourself or for someone else as a gift, especially with Black Friday and the holidays approaching. Now, first things first, this phone is a slippery little bugger, and so you're going to want to get it protected, and a case is going to be the best way to do that. The case that I am using as my daily case to protect my phone is the Mouse Limitless 2.0 case. Mouse prides themselves on developing an air shock system that helps protect your phone from drops a lot better than other cases on the market. These are the guys you saw all over Facebook dropping their phones from cranes and things like that. It's pretty impressive. I will never try it. If you're looking for really solid protection of your phone, this is gonna be it. The protrusion around the camera, great touch as well. You gotta keep it protected. It is one of the biggest selling points of the phone. Another huge selling point for me are the magnets that are embedded within the case that allow it to interact with accessories also sold by Mouse. For me, I bought their $40 magnetic vent clip for my car, which brings the total of this whole setup to $85, keeping it under that $100 limit. It's been a really huge improvement over just sticking my phone in my cup holder. As a second option, maybe you're thinking something a little bit more classy, a little bit more elegant. While providing less drop protection, Mujo's leather cases, which are coming in right at about $40 to $50, are gonna give you much more of that elegant, sleek aesthetic. Mujo's cases are all lined with microfiber to prevent scratching if dust or dirt gets in there, and with all authentic leather cases, will patina over time to give each case its own unique look. 2 different cases to fit your vibe, whether you go Mouse or Mujo, they're both winners. Also use the coupon code #TM25 on Mujo's website between November 22nd and 26th to get 25% off your next case. Now, if you're anything like me, if you have the iPhone XS, there's a good chance you probably also have AirPods and an Apple Watch. In order to charge all these devices simultaneously in just a sleek, good-looking setup, I've combined YoFu's 10-watt wireless charging stand with Anker's 40-watt 4-port wall charger. This is going to allow me to charge all these devices simultaneously from a single outlet at the highest rate possible. So I did a bunch of research to figure out what is the best fast charging block on the market right now, and Anker's 4-port wall charger comes in at half the price of Apple's fast charger and has 4 ports instead of just 1. It makes way more sense. The standard Apple charger that comes with your phone was able to charge my phone 14% in 20 minutes, while the Anker charger was able to charge 22% in the same time frame, more than 50% faster. When combining the charging block with YoFu's wireless charging pad, I was able to charge my iPhone 12% in 20 minutes. Using a standard charging block and the YoFu wireless pad resulted in 7% in 20 minutes. As a side note too, the Anker charging brick was much cooler to the touch after it finished this charging test versus Apple's standard charging brick. The setup also allows me to route an Apple Watch charger and another Lightning USB cable through it to charge my Apple Watch and AirPods, while of course all being displayed beautifully. Look at that cable management too. I mean, that's pretty exciting. The YoFu stand comes with only 1 USB cable, and it is specifically for the wireless charging pad for your phone. In this build, I'm also including the cost of an additional Apple Watch charger so that you're not constantly having to take this one out of the stand if you're going to travel or you need it somewhere else for some reason. Cable management, wireless charging, display stand, I love it. Now, what about charging in the rest of your house? If you're anything like my family, we're always kind of wrestling over who gets that charging cable that's closest to the family room. Instead, I now have the Nomad wireless charging pad in my kitchen. This allows me to wirelessly charge 2 phones side by side simultaneously, or connect 2 more cables to the back of it, 1 USB and 1 USB Type-C, for a combined 4 simultaneously charging devices. The phone does need to be positioned a little bit towards the front of the charging pad, so just know that it does have a bit of a sweet spot, and the LED on the front of it is going to alert you and let you know that the phone has indeed started charging. There is also a third coil coil placed right in the middle of the charging pad, which is going to guarantee that if you place your phone horizontally right in the middle of the pad, you know that this third coil is going to kick in and your phone's going to charge. In terms of charging capabilities, in the same 20-minute test, I saw an increase of 12% battery life using the wireless charger. Again, compared to a standard wired charger, which is 14%, it's going to be just slightly less, but it's right on par. At $100, you are paying a premium, but you're getting that beautiful aesthetic and the opportunity to charge 4 devices simultaneously. Now you may say, Taylor, you just told me about the Anker charging block. Why in the world wouldn't I just get 4 cables, plug it into that, and now I got the same amount of charging capabilities and it charges even faster? To that, I would say absolutely, but now you gotta deal with the rat's nest of all those cables. If you're looking for something elegant and something wireless, all right, we're gonna pivot just a little bit here. Do you remember back in the day, the old iHome alarm clock with the 30-pin connector on it for the old school iPod? I had one of those for seriously an eternity, but just recently upgraded to iHome's $80 offering, a fabric-covered wireless charging clock that also includes a programmable smart home button that you can program using if this then that to control whatever you want in your home. The smart home button can also be programmed to control iHome devices as well as start audio tracks either from a playlist or a song. Sonos should take some notes from these guys. These guys are kind of killing it with the interface. So let's say you've got Philips Hue lights, maybe you have motorized shades, a garage door that's connected. You can now use if this then that to create 2 different programs. Maybe one's like a nighttime shut everything down kind of mode, and then the other would be like a wake up mode where it turns on a whole bunch of your lights to help you jumpstart your day. And you can program both of those to the same button on the top of this clock. One's a short press and one's a long press. Pretty cool to be able to initiate these right from your clock first thing in the morning or right before you go to sleep. The front display, of course, can be dimmed with a hidden snooze button under the cloth front. There's a USB port on the back for a second charger, and the piece that sold me on it, a wireless charger built into the front for your iPhone XS. The speakers, they're by all means average. There really isn't much low end. It certainly isn't going to compete with something like an Amazon Echo. But hey, for alarms, for bedroom listening, it does what it needs to do. Charging wise, in 20 minutes, I saw a charge increase of 11%. So it's by no means the fastest, but this is generally going to be an overnight charging solution, so it doesn't need to be the fastest. Definitely an awesome replacement for my old alarm clock and an attractive wireless charging combo, all for $80. Now I'm guessing you're probably thinking like, bro, enough with the chargers, let's see some other stuff. Now what's missing from this whole equation? You got your case, everything's charging, you're gonna need an awesome set of headphones. At $99, I'm recommending the Jaybird Tarahs. Now these are semi-wireless with the buds connected to each other and wireless as it relates to your phone, but the tethering mixed with the wingtips makes it feel much more secure in your ears, feels like you're not going to lose them easily, and it also isolates sound far better than what you're going to get with something like the Apple AirPods. They're a plastic design with a rubberized flat cable and silicone wingtips. With volume, track, and Siri controls all built into the inline controller, they're comparable in terms of controllability, yet produce a much fuller low end and crisper highs than the AirPods, and give fully customizable EQ capabilities and presets that the app will flow through to all other music sources on your device. Straight out of the box, I found them to be a little bit harsh in the highs and a bit flat in the lows. So I ultimately perfected a curve for these that I'm seriously loving, choosing the warmth preset and then customizing it by raising the highs slightly and then boosting the lows a small amount. This has helped a ton and produces a much fuller, less fatiguing sound. My only 2 gripes really are the clunky charger and a lack of a case. The charger is USB, it's short, so it kind of just protrudes out there. It's not my favorite, and something to store all this in would be really helpful. In my testing, the battery lasts about 6 hours and takes roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours to fully charge. That said, they do have a fast charging capability which gets you about an hour of listening on only a 10-minute charge. I love my AirPods a lot. It is super convenient to have my lightning cable work for both my phone and for my headphones case, but I find myself reaching for these more and more often because the sound quality is really fantastic and the sound isolation is great, especially when you're in public places or on airplanes. Great sound, awesome sound isolation, sweat and waterproof. These are a great option coming in right at about $100. There you go, stock up on Black Friday, grab some gifts for each of your family members. Hopefully this gave you some good ideas, and I will catch you guys in the next video.